I'll be doing the carving up in this knee area of the Cabriole leg, so the carving will be right in this top area here. I want to smooth that out and get some of the bandsaw marks out of here. I've already done some light filing here to get the bandsaw marks out, deep cuts. So that's pretty good, but I need it to be a smoother. I want this to be pretty smooth, so I've just sharpened a scraper blade to take the file marks out. Yeah, that seems to be giving me a surface that should work good. There'll be quite a bit of shaping done on this leg. It won't be this constant thickness. It'll thin down from the top, thinning down to a neck area in here, and then fattening out again, and then coming back to a point at the end here. So that'll be done as a last stage after cutting the tenon. I also have to thin it down because it's about 1/8 of an inch fat right now, and then I'll have to shape that narrow area later. So this is a pretty good shape. There's just a few little file marks that I want to get out of here before working the carving. So the carving is just in an area, and that's nice now. So I need to mark the carving shape out on this area here. That'll be the next step. At the top of the leg, there's a little teardrop shape that I need to make. I've done that on another leg, and here's the way that will look. And to mark out that little teardrop in SketchUp, I unfolded the face, the curved face. I've unfolded it in SketchUp and flattened it out so that I can just squeeze that in there and center it. And just create the shape. Now, this thickness is wider than the final thickness, so that's why there's a little bit of a gap in here. So I'll work with that as I go here. I think this number 5 It's about a 10 millimeter, I guess. Carving gouge will work quite well for this shape. So I'll outline it, and just kind of, I'll end up finishing this up after it's sized. So I'll get most of this waste out of here. It's best to get this out now before next I'm going to do the carving, a shallow carving on this knee. And before I do this, it's easier to get this waste out of this upper area where the teardrop is. I can get the carving tools in there for that carving a little bit easier that way. So let me just run that just a little bit up, and see if straight chisel might work better there. Just get that out to the edge. I'll go right out to the edge and clean that up after this thing is the thickness is cut back later on. I want to get all the carving done while this thing is at this oversized thickness, because that gives me a good clamping surface. While working this. So I'm just getting rid of this waste. Could hit that with a mallet, I suppose, but this is okay. Now it's starting to look like a teardrop. Oh, one thing I should have done is show how this waste comes out of here with a nice little sweeping arc. So I'll need to come in from the side as well to clean up that surface. So this. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and scribe that arc I think the same, maybe a number 3 would work a little bit better. Let me check that. Yes. Yes, that works really well. I can't push too hard here or I'll just get a little chip out of there. Gives me a little bit of a shoulder. Okay, let's do the other side like that. Take a little chip out of there. Okay, now I can come back and work this safely from the top. Let's flatten this a little bit more and see what it looks like. Okay. Okay, I'm going to work this from the side. That's a number 3. See if you can get that in view there. Okay. Get this a little bit deeper here. should be able to work it from the top now. Finish it off. Okay, I think that's good enough for that. That point down there flat. Not going to worry too much about how it looks up here, because some of that's going to get cut off in the sizing of the thickness of this later in the process. So I think that's good enough for right now. Getting ready to do the carving on the knee of the leg, and this is the design that I want to use. So I can glue this here and work it with my carving tools, but I want to try a method of imprinting the shape using some acetone and taping this down. Using some Scotch tape. I've tried masking tape, and that seems to come loose quickly. So maybe this will stick a little bit better in this process. Because I don't want this to move around while I'm imprinting the ink. Oops, that wasn't very good. Folding that over there. If this process doesn't work, I'll just go ahead and glue the paper on there. But if I can do it without having the glue and the paper, it's nicer, because it's harder to later on to get that off. So now I'm ready to put a little acetone on there. There you can see the imprint coming through, and I'm using the back end of a carving tool to do the impression. Apply the pressure to hopefully release that ink onto the wood surface. I can see that the Scotch tape came loose just like the masking tape does, so that doesn't work very well. I'll try to keep this positioned in the same spot, because if I go over it multiple times with it shifting, I'm going to have bad results here. Get this bottom area here. I've sanded this surface of this mahogany to try to help have a nice smooth surface for this, although the mahogany is open grain, so it's not like maple or cherry. And also the mahogany's dark, which makes it harder to see the ink pattern. This little template is full size right out of SketchUp, and I printed it on a laser printer because you need, for this process to work here, you need to have the toner, the inkjet type of printer ink doesn't work like this, I guess. Okay, I'm ready to disclose what we got here. Ooh, that's really good. Except up there at the top. Well, I can pencil that in manually, and that'll be fine. That's easy to see. Maybe I'll just turn it around. Maybe you can see it a little bit better with the light. Not sure. That'll work great.